Auga.
I like that. We should start every episode with Auga. What's going on, guys? Auga, yeah. It's Barstool Sports. Auga. No. It is not Barstool Sports. It is the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast.
That's
Johnny,
right.
Johnny, how are you doing?
Program's so good that most radio stations would put it on the radio, but when it's too good, you just got to put it on a podcast.
Exactly.
Hope for the best.
Which now the podcast is on Spotify. Wherever you find those podcast things, you can find us. And a big thank you to our sponsor, Nugenics, where Frank Thomas will try to hump your wife. It's Nugenics, and she'll like it too.
Those commercials kill me whenever that line comes up, and she'll like it too. There's always that, like, she has a sheep is like, oh, we're talking about sex. Ooh, I'm going to have sex with you.
It's like, hey, Frank Thomas, back off my lady.
Jeez, what the heck?
And I know you're the big hurt, but I don't want you putting the big hurt on her.
We're fine there. Good
right. Yeah, your Nugenics is all of a sudden, you take one pill and Frank Thomas is in bed next to you. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, I just want to swing a golf club without my back going out. That's all I want.
I don't want she like it too. So yes, thank you to our sponsor, Nugenics. We begin with a Reddit Am I the A-hole? We're going to have a couple of stories here about dating.
Okay.
All right. This one begins, this female, 27, goes out on a date with this 30-year-old dude. She goes, it was our first and last date. I didn't know him really well, and we only knew each other through friends. We were set up by one of them, and we talked a bit before deciding to go out. And she goes, he seemed normal. So we go to a cafe, she says. Now, we had only gotten there, just sat down, when he got a call. Now, I assume this comes from overseas, but he gets a call from his mom,
okay.
It says, all right? She goes, no big deal. Took the call in front of me, so I had no other option to hear what he was talking about. He told his mom that we arrived and it's all fine. I thought, okay, maybe he was anxious or something, or his mom was wishing him luck. We got to talking, and within a half hour, his mom called again.
Wow.
Okay. He picked it up and then gave her an update of everything we had talked about in the last 30 minutes.
What?
She goes, it weirded me out.
Yeah.
But then she proceeded to call him 3 more times within 2 hours.
Son of a gun.
And he would recap everything we had talked about right in front of me and then go back to conversation as if nothing happened. She goes, at some point I commented about his mom's constant calling, and he said, yeah, I'm a mama's boy. It weirded me out, so I cut our date short and turned down his idea for dinner. When I got home, I messaged him that I had a good time, but I couldn't see a future with him as our personalities were poles apart. He responded with an okay, best of luck. Obviously, the friend who had set us up asked me about the date, and I told her about his mom calling every half hour. I also told my friends about the date, which you encounter someone who gets 5 calls from their mom within 2 hours and recants everything to his mom in front of the date about what just transpired.
That's a date horror story that you share with people.
Exactly. You're going to have to. Well, she goes on to say, and this is where the Am I the A-hole comes in. Now, apparently, he asked out another girl, and she turned him down. He found out that people knew about the situation. Mm-hmm. He sent me a text calling me some nice words and saying that it was a private information, and I shouldn't have told people about it. He also called me a racist, which doesn't make sense because we're both of Indian descent. I mean, it wasn't the constant calling that stuck out to me, which it should have.
Of course.
It was the fact that he would literally recap everything to her in front of me. This severe codependency situation didn't sit right with me at all. I do think I may be an a-hole because I told his private business to the world, but also maybe not. Am I the a-hole?
Is it private business?
He's airing it out in front of everyone, right? He's taking the call in a public setting.
Right.
And you had to have known that if a mutual friend is setting you both up, that what transpires in the date will at least be told to that friend.
Sure.
So
I don't think this is private at all.
No, the privacy goes out the window.
If he had said, hey, there's some family stuff going on, I got to take this call, excuse me for a second, and stepped outside, and even if it happened a couple more times, you go, oh, okay, well, there's something going on. It's like that's his deal. I'm not into it. But he's sitting there and saying, and she ordered the quinoa, and I had a lemonade, and our hands almost touched, and we winked at each other. That's. Someone
has to know that, right? I mean, it's incumbent upon him now to find a way to not have this happen. Like, to your point, it's okay to on a first date, if it's an emergency call, you take it, right? And if he were to handle it, to your point, and you said it perfectly, a family emergency, my bad, I'm sorry.
Well, why'd you repeat it then? I mean, my God, I already made the point, Mike. I already made the point.
You made the perfect point. But to then take the calls over and over, and to do it in front of her, I don't think privacy is an issue in here.
No, because if she had said the dude chews with his mouth open and picks his ears, that's fair game too.
Correct.
When it's like, hey, I just couldn't take it. The guy was burping, and
even if it wasn't via friends setting them up, if it was someone you had met on a dating profile, there's still no privacy in that, right? I mean, because once you're on the date, inherently while on a date, you're going to be judged by the person you're on a date with.
Gentlemen out there, all of you, put down the eugenics for a second.
Thank you, sponsors. She'll like it too.
Because obviously it's getting you all amped up, and that's not what we're looking for.
No, not at all.
Is understand when the ladies say, hey, let's go to the restroom, they're talking about stuff.
That's what they're doing. They're judging when you go out on a date, you're going to be judged.
And if one has the other's phone number, or I don't know, they're on Facebook together or something, they're saying stuff. It's what women do. I'm not knocking it. It's just a fact of nature. Women huddle together and go, "You would not believe the weird stuff that happened." I know this.
Yes, exactly. You know that well. And it's one of those things of you can't then say, "Oh, it's private," when you're taking the call in front of her.
No, exactly.
You in 5 times in 2 hours, pump the brakes. Yeah. Like that's something I think that needs to be known. I think
they're telling everything is being told. He drove up in a beater. His shirt was untucked. Everything that could be told is being told.
The way he cut his meat was like a Viking in front of me. There was no manners to him. They're gonna know.
I mean, this is why I sit like a paranoid lunatic anytime I'm around a woman, because I know they're ingesting all of this information, processing it, spilling it back out, everything. His eyes didn't blink in synchronization. Something was going on. I think he got hit in the head. I mean, there's just all these kinds of things are going on.
Yeah, you're going to have to know that it's going to be spread around. So in no way is she the a-hole. And the whole, that was a private thing. Well, it's not going to be very private, because here's the problem. It's a pattern of behavior, because the next date, even if she wouldn't have said anything, right? Yeah. If she would have said not a thing, the next date he goes on, it's going to happen again. So the next woman's going to say something.
He should be glad he got 2 hours. That's
if you take
that's
3,
like 20. Yeah, it's like an hour 40 longer than he should have gotten.
Yeah, if you take 3 calls within the first 45 minutes of a date and they're all your mom, I'm out.
Check, please.
Yeah, exactly. See you later. Speaking of check, please, that leads us to this next dating situation, and this gentleman turned to Market Watch, of all places, to ask about whether what's going on in the dating world is correct. Now, Market Watch, for those who don't know, is a financial website.
Yeah.
So why you're going to Market Watch for dating tips, I'm not quite sure.
It's an offshoot of CBS, I think.
Yeah. So this guy goes, I'm a single 38-year-old man living in the Southwest, and I have reached my breaking point. I spend my hard-earned money taking women out for dinner and drinks who I've met on Tinder, only to be ghosted by the second or third date. Is taking women out for coffee on a first date acceptable? And can I just pay for my own? You don't get much change out of $10 at Starbucks these days. I'm tired of just throwing my cash around on other people's social lives. At this point in the game, and it does feel like a game, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of by women who agree to meet me on a date. If they're not serious, then why do they agree to be taken out for dinner? A bottle of wine could cost upwards of $45. I'm a gentleman. I hold the door for women. I stand up when a lady enters the room, and I pick up the check. But I'm spending upwards of $600 a month on dates, and it's eating into my other living expenses. When did men have to pay for everything? When did dating have to be so expensive? Is coffee acceptable, and can I buy my own?
God almighty, man.
Isn't it?
Put down the eugenics, and let me just have a conversation with you here.
She'll like it, too. Thank you to our sponsors once again. I'm an old school dude.
Yeah.
And I think it's inherent that you at least offer to pay. right? And you don't.
Yeah.
And if you're that concerned about the amount of money that you're spending, maybe not suggest super expensive places.
Or, I don't know, throttle down a little bit. That's a lot of dating.
Correct. That's the other thing.
I'm starting to think it's him.
Right, yeah, because you're right. He's putting it on women of like, they're just using me for 2 or 3 dates, and then it's maybe it's on you, bro.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're just not into him.
Yeah, maybe because you're not the most awesome dude around. He doesn't think about that. He's just like, I'm spending $600 a month on dates, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
well, and he's clear. He's not saying it out loud, but you can hear it in there. He's setting up a quid pro quo scenario of, I'm buying all these dates, but I don't get a third date. What's going on?
Yeah, what's happening here? Because we all know what third date means. Nugenics.
Right.
She'll like it, too.
Please text flaccid penis to Nugenics.
Their new one is text hard. Have you seen that? For a free sample. What are you going at, Nugenics? I mean, I know you're a sponsor, and we appreciate you. And she'll like it, too.
Yes. Text Frank Thomas's chest to...
and text Doug Flutie Hail Mary to But, yeah, I mean, and I think to him to ask, is a coffee place acceptable for first date? Yes.
Sure.
I think that's fine.
And buy her a cup of coffee, for God's sake.
Exactly. And to be like, $10 doesn't get you as much as Starbucks anymore. Shut your mouth. Now, here's the thing, okay? Since you're asking Market Watch of all places, it's going to be the most, clinical, dialed-down response. And I'm not going to give you the full response. I'll give you the first couple of paragraphs that they bring in, because they bring in a u.gov poll.
Oh, okay.
All right. Here's the response to this jackass. Yes, you can go for coffee, and yes, you can buy your own. You don't have to pay for dinner every single time. Chivalry does not have to mean spending $600 a month on merry-go-round dating. Silicon Valley has commodified people's romantic lives, and given the sheer number of singletons meeting, it no longer makes financial sense to always be the one to pay. In this poll carried out by u.gov, more than one-third respondents said they use dating apps so they have something to do. And that is, they have incorporated dates into their social calendar as an activity, like going to the cinema or playing pickleball. More than a quarter respondents said they use apps to have casual sex. Men, 36%, were more likely than women, 14%.
They didn't put any thought into this answer. They just did a quick Google search.
20 years ago, you might have gone on 1 or 2 or 3 dates, dinner dates a month with the same person, but today's economic conditions no longer support the old-fashioned notion that men should always pick up the bill for pre-dinner.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly more and more, and women more often are saying, "Hey, come on, let's split this thing. Let's do that."
Yes,
and that's fine. I'm with you, Mike. I'm picking up the bill. I'm holding the door, but I'm not doing it with any expectation.
That's the problem here with this jamoke.
Here's my whole thing.
There's expectations on this jamoke of if I get to a certain spot, and don't try to guise it as I'm chivalrous otherwise, I hold the door, blah, blah, blah. It's all right, then go the full 9. Don't bemoan it.
Yeah, you do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
My modern up-and-coming young women daughters, one of them asked me about that. It's what's this deal? Guys feel like they got to pay it all. And I said, look, my whole thing on this is women have to have babies. I don't ever want to go through that. It's horrific. It's painful. The least I can do is pay for dinner.
Thank you.
I can hold a door. There's nothing else I can do. I can't do what you do. Let me pay for dinner.
And not only
that's my thing on that.
Right. And
it's not that women are incompetent or
correct.
They can't pay or they're not. It's please let me do this. Because you've got enough going on.
Yes, it's tough enough just being a woman in this world.
Of course.
It's the same thing I get into when we go up to Chicago and me and my wife take out our friend, and I just pay, and she's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, it's not that you can't. I know you're a professional. You live in the city. You have a fantastic apartment, but you have other expenses, and it's tough being a woman. I'm not trying to downplay you or anything like that. I got nothing. To your point, I got nothing else to offer. Yeah. So just let me pay for the dinner.
It's time for men to admit we don't do anything.
Correct.
We just stand around like lumps.
But if you want to have more physical activity, Nugenics is the way to go. And also for this gentleman, maybe he may want to go to a place that is a little less expensive for the meals because there's a phenomenon going on right now in the world of fast food that I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
Well, just in the last week or so, McDonald's started selling Happy Meals to adult customers.
Yes.
And they have these limited edition toys, which are weird looking. They have all four eyes on it's like Grimace with eyes stacked on eyes.
Yeah, the commercial
looks like a mistake.
The commercial is trippy AF. I mean, it's something people have been wanting for a long time. Like, I want adult Happy Meal. Did you not know you could still order
you can actually do that.
They don't card you at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It doesn't like if you go in there and like.
Could you roll down your rear window and make sure there's actually a kid in there? You can't have this.
Exactly. They don't card you and be like, sorry, sir, you're above 12. You can order a regular, so you don't need the adult Happy Meal.
No.
But it's a trend, and now people are going bananas over it.
And congratulations to McDonald's. It's working out well. Everybody wants an adult Happy Meal to the point where their own employees are taking to social media and saying, we cannot handle what's going on here. We've run out of toys. We've run out of boxes. We're telling people we're not going to have any until next Tuesday. And you would think that it's like we're selling water in the Sahara.
Yeah. People are flocking. And now, on top of that, they made the announcement they're bringing back the Halloween bucket Happy Meal. That's coming out October 18th. McDonald's is getting nostalgia, and they're getting the new kids with the Happy Meal as well. So they know what they're doing.
And there's this weird social media underbelly that happens. I know this is happening at Starbucks as well, where there's these secret formulas that only people on TikTok know about, and then they show up on Starbucks and say, I want one of these things, and Starbucks is going, I don't know what that thing is.
The poor baristas.
Yeah.
I feel bad. You know, it's one of those, and I think part of that, the people that show up in person and try to do it, God bless them for at least showing up in person.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier if you have the app to put in all that bull crap. And the worst part is those people probably don't tip. It's like, I want a new Ariel frappe that involves this and passion fruit, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay.
Just so they can film their reaction video.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even like it. They just film it and then react to it. Speaking of reacting, how would you react to this? You own a cat.
I do have a cat.
Your cat, Oliver. House cat, or do you allow him out of the house from time to time?
100%. He wouldn't know what to do outside.
Okay.
He'd be dead in a minute.
Some people, and I don't know if you experienced this growing up, some people have that cat that is just becomes, it's their cat, but it's a neighborhood cat. Like my friend Jason Woods growing up had Bagel was the cat. And Bagel would just go and do whatever they wanted. And that's the case with this particular cat, who Demo is his name, and he's known in the neighborhood as a kleptomaniac.
Oh.
Like he'll just grab things and then bring it back to his house like, sorry, mine now. So, pieces of articles of clothing and everything else or whatever.
He's like a magpie.
Yeah. So this particular woman, Rachel Masterman, was left horrified after her cat brought home a sex toy, leading to an awkward conversation with her 12-year-old son. Rachel Masterman's kleptomaniac cat, Demo, has become somewhat of a local celebrity for the random things he brings back as gifts for his owners. This four-legged thief has previously dragged home gloves, a watering can, and even floral tributes from the graveyard behind their home. However, the 3-year-old pet recently stepped up his game when he came through the door with what appeared to be anal beads in his mouth.
What appeared to be.
Yeah, what appeared, or you don't know.
What else are they?
The woman says she was left mortified. She realized what the risque items was and faced some awkward questions from her son, who also spotted them. As always, if these belong to you, just inbox me. She put on the who is stepping up in the neighborhood saying, hey, yeah, by the way, Demo took my anal beads.
Yeah. Mine. Here.
No one admits to that, right?
Can you identify them? Bright pink?
Maybe.
Purple?
I mean, I usually don't see them where they go. I don't really pay attention to what they look like. I just know they kind of do things for me. I don't think you can admit to that in the neighborhood chat that those are your anal beads. Those are you just buy new ones, right?
Probably more fun for the cat, though. I bet the cat has a good time just batting them around and throwing them in the air and everything.
Of course they enjoyed it. And for people like, ew, Demo put it in. Cats lick themselves too. So let's not get all grossed out by it.
They eat lizards and frogs and mice.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of putting things downtown there, And we're not talking eugenics.
No, but I don't know if they can be a suppository. But text and find out for your free sample.
Remember about a month or so ago down in St. Louis, I think it was.
Yeah, that chess tournament.
Big chess tournament, and there is this world champion suddenly gets dethroned, and nobody can figure out how this guy beat him. And there were rumors going around that he was cheating.
By using vibrations from the anal beads.
Yeah, that they were some sort of remote-controlled anal beads, and somebody was...
Okay, let me just ask you this. Who has a friend that they're that close with, or an associate they're that close with, is like, hey, listen, got this big chess match. Got to win. Here's what we need to do. I need you to be in the room. I need you to get on the app, and I need you to buzz my anal beads. If I have to do,
let me explain the whole thing before you ask questions.
Exactly. Rook to whatever 4 is a 3 anal bead buzz.
Hans Niemann, 19 years old, faces claims he cheated more than 100 chess matches and used vibrating sex toys in his backside to pick up messages from his coach. After he won his first-round U.S. championship match, he was asked about, quote-unquote, the elephant in the room.
I hope it's not elephant.
And he said, I think this game sends a message to everyone. This entire thing started with me saying the chess speaks for itself, and I think this game speaks for itself. So people have been following, because he had admitted, once upon a time I did cheat at chess, but I don't anymore. I'm just really good at chess.
Did he admit how he cheated back in the day?
I don't know.
He just admitted, yes, I did cheat, but I've refined my skills now.
This article seems to imply that was the method he used.
The entire time?
Yeah.
His cheating the entire time was... Does he
but
really?
He has sworn off the cheating anal beads.
I was going to say, does he even like chess? Is this just a front for some other weird fetish that he has of like, well, I can't just walk around all day with this going on, but yes, chess.
This week, chess.com published an investigation claiming that it was likely that he cheated in more than 100 games. And so when he was sent abroad to compete at a chess tournament, there's a picture here of him just standing there in a suit, but there's a security guard with some sort of scanning device down at his ass.
Ass scan.
Sorry, sir. We need to
scan your ass.
Checking to see if there was anything hidden there before he goes into the tournament.
How? When it gets to the point...
He said he was even prepared to play naked to prove the innocence.
No, we don't need that.
We still wouldn't know, would we?
No, we really wouldn't. I mean, depending how far up that thing is.
So it's this controversy
Kingdom
goes
down
on.
To rectum.
Listen for like his voice to quiver or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Knight to Rook 3. So he was.
I take your bishop.
So anyway, it all started with this major upset that happened in the big chess championship, and now people have their eyes on him, head to toe, wanting to know, all right, is he cheating or is he really just this 19-year-old prodigy?
If it gets to the point where you need your ass scanned before you compete, don't you go, okay, maybe I need a new sport?
Right.
There's no turning back from that. Like, okay, I'm the ass scan guy now, so maybe just give it up there, Hans Niemann. Maybe find a different game for you.
Who knew chess could get this so controversial?
Yeah, so controversial in that particular area. Something that comes out of that particular area was being used as fertilizer.
Yeah,
and I don't know, like animal fertilizer, right? I mean, we know cow manure, but in this particular story, they upped it a notch.
So we go to Michigan, and the issue stems from a farm in Michigan that was forced to shut down after the farm admitted that untreated human waste was dumped on the land where this farm is from a nearby outhouse. Now, okay. Whether they were using it as fertilizer or just dumping it.
It was just dumped there. Okay, gotcha. We don't know, because I don't know if I'm willing. I guess we're willing to take stuff that was fertilized by animal manure right? Like we may know, but it's washed.
Yeah.
Our
It's
vegetables and
treated
whatnot and
and,
everything else. I don't know if they said on the package, fertilized by human waste, if we'd be as apt to go ahead and be like, this is a juicy tomato.
And that's kind of weird when you think about it, right? That, I mean, obviously, part of the nutrients that we're getting when you go slice into a tomato
is animal poo.
Yeah, is some pig waste on there. And we're going,
this is delicious.
That makes it grow strong and healthy.
Exactly. But if it'd be like, this is Bob's crap from down the street, we'd be like, ew, gross.
Frank Thomas took one of his eugenics dumps.
He put a big hurt on that tomato.
Eugenics can do anything.
It really can. It's like CBD.
So the owner of the farm, Andy Stutzman, who owns Country Gardens Farm, I need to stop for just a second. They got a little too creative with their name because Country Gardens is spelled Kuntry.
What? Wait. What? Wait. Respell Country Gardens Farm
For
again?
some reason, they thought, it would garner attention if they got creative with their name. And so Country Gardens spelled Kuntry.
You can't. You need an O in there. You can't go straight when you're spelling country. You can't skip the O.
No.
The O is very important.
They were being, cutesy and down home.
That's not cutesy and down home. That's someone who rage-filled.
Right.
That's a word that's only used within rage. You don't use that word without the O.
No, you don't.
How do they put that on a billboard?
Exactly.
And how do you then go, hey, want to go visit Country Gardens Farms? No, I don't. Am I mad? Are their vegetables angry?
I wonder if they have a website and a big logo and everything. I want to see that.
Yeah. So what's it, Stutzman?
Yeah, so Andy Stutzman of Country Garden Farms
Andy Stutzman
was forced to shut down. The human sewage was only on a small portion of a 5x5 area. It wasn't properly disposed. It didn't get into the field. To be exact, I'd say about 4 gallons of product.
Product.
He explained.
You know what? I want you people listening here, besides going to check out the fine product in eugenics, I want next time after you drop a giant deuce, be like, I think I left 4 pounds of product left at home in that toilet. See how people react to you.
He said the sewage wasn't mixed up with other fertilizers, at
the farm,
but rather the waste containers from an outdoor restroom were just dumped into the field.
What are you doing? What even continue with Country Garden Farms?
It was underneath. It was not contacting any fruits or vegetables. He was told by a soil specialist that the sewage had deteriorated, but he decided to be honest with the Michigan Department of Agriculture and said, "Hey, just so you know," and then and so there's all this during a routine produce safety inspection. Staff identified that Country Gardens was using raw, untreated human waste on the fields where produce was grown for sale in local grocery stores. Country Gardens has since been shut down indefinitely, and Stutzman has been ordered to dispose of his crops.
Farm to table to toilet, back to farm. There's nothing better than Country Gardens Farms.
And so they had sent out this letter that said, Dear friends, we received a word today that one of the farms we were buying produce from has contaminated fields. You don't couch it like that. You got to come right out. We will no longer be doing business with them, but want to let you know about this immediately. If you purchase a zucchini, summer squash, tomatoes, or green peppers recently, please throw them out.
Throw them out. If you recently used the outhouse it came from, congratulations, you helped grow food.
We are so sorry to give this news. We hope it won't damage your trust with us. It's always our intention to provide the best quality stuff. Please accept our sincere apologies. And by the way, you'll never believe how they spell country.
Yeah. Right, exactly. If you're one of those people that brought the country, some ding-dongs bought it just for the name, right? You're never going to believe this zucchini. Guess where I got this from? Look at the spelling on this one, bud.
Health officials are uncertain how long the farm will be closed.
Forever.
Andy Stutzman is all upset. He says, this has impacted me greatly. It's my livelihood. This was an oversight, but this is not how I normally do. He's saying it was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
I'm sorry. I was throwing poo around like a crazy chimpanzee.
Look for them to change their name to Scroats.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime soon. Yikes. Country Gardens. You've got to have the O.
Anytime, and you don't have to really get creative with that. That's just not necessary.
No. That I mean, you're definitely standing out, though. I will say that.
I guess so.
Definitely standing out. So.
Oh, he's Amish too. Now I feel bad.
What? Well, maybe that's how they spell it in Amish. I don't know. Check this out. I'm going to go on a Bender Rumspring. I'm going to open Country Gardens.
Oh, here we go. Here's a website called Michigan Local Difference. Taste the difference.
It's poo.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Country
Well, that would
Gardens.
explain why they're out in the outhouse with the Amish spreading the poo around.
Andy Stutzman raises pasture broad-breasted chickens.
Sure he does. You can't be Country
Using
Gardens until you
tradition.
have broad-breasted chickens. By the way, text broad-breasted to 5 for new Nugenics.
And she'll like her broad breasts too.
She'll like it too, because you won't stop touching them from your Nugenics.
Yay.
Oh, yeah. Special discount code.
So, yeah, you know what? Sometimes I appreciate organic stuff, but it's just
It's a little too.
Probably not. I don't think so.
No, not at all. So that wraps up this episode. Remember to use the secret code of nice penis and text that for some free sample of Nugenics. Johnny, always so much fun. Enjoy it, and we'll be back next week. Maybe. Auga, yeah, with another edition of Mike and Molson, Too Good for Radio.